Hi everyone! Welcome to week 2 of TESOL 525 Methods of Teaching English. First, I'd like to recap about week 1. So first you did your SIA, Student Introductory Assignment, and it was very nice to meet everyone and see your posts. Thank you for participating in that. Then you read chapters 1 to 4 of the textbook, and you learned about the grammar translation method, arguably the oldest, and then the direct method, which was came about as a response to GTM, and then the audiolingual method from the 1960s, in other words, called the Michigan method. These 3 methods might seem a bit strange to you, but in fact they are very much still used today, either wholly or as pieces or parts of lessons. And then you discuss these readings in the first week's discussion board. I will be responding to everyone's initial post and other comments if necessary. So once you can see that I've given you your grade for the discussion board, then you can go back to see the threads and look at the response that I gave to each student's initial post. Also, last week you had the comprehension check on Blackboard that you should have completed by Sunday night. And just to summarize, you can take those as many times as you want. They are intended to be instructional comprehension checks for you to see what you know and what you need to review or revisit in the textbook. So remember, you can take those as many times as you want. They are due on the Sunday night of each week. And Blackboard will record your highest score. This week we're in Module 2, and you have 4 more chapters to read in the Larson-Freeman textbook, chapters 5 to 8. First method that you'll learn about is the silent way. This one, I think, seems the most abstract from reading it in a textbook, reading about it in a textbook. So be sure to watch the video that's posted there on Blackboard. It gives a really good representation of this method. And then you have Suggestopedia, which used to be called D-Suggestopedia. Now it is called Suggestopedia, in an attempt to try to better indicate that we're trying to... oh wait, I said that reversed, sorry. Used to be called Suggestopedia, now it's called D-Suggestopedia, because the point is that we're trying to show that we are de-suggesting psychological barriers to learning. Sorry. After that, we have the community language learning, or we call it CLL. This is where the teacher's role kind of changes to that of a counselor, but is still very much in a traditional authority figure. And then the 4th one is total physical response, and this one is quite different in that its belief is that by doing physical actions, the student's learning, acquisition, and memory improves. So each of these 4 methods are, again, quite distinct and have very different principles behind them, as did the first 3 from last week. As you continue reading about each new method, please do pay attention to the historical perspective of these. So previous methods impacting the creation of future methods. After you do the reading for this week, you have a discussion board again, and you will discuss those methods. Then you have the comprehension check. Again, remember, you can take it as many times as you want. And both of those are due Sunday, aside from your initial post for the discussion board that's due Thursday. And then additionally this week, we have our first live Collaborate Ultra session. In this, we're going to discuss your plans for your teaching method demonstration. You have to come to this Collaborate session with the top portion of the lesson plan, meaning above the dashed line, completed. And this is so that you can receive feedback about your preparation so that we can further help prepare you for that major assignment. You can see your assigned teaching method by clicking on the Assignments tab in Blackboard and then finding the Teaching Method Presentation and Demonstration Assignment. In those details, you will see there's a document called Assigned Methods. You can download that, and from there you can see your assigned classroom context, methodology, and lesson objective that you must use for that assignment. In addition, you're assigned to read Chapter 10 of the Harmer textbook and prior to the Collaborate session, and this is so that you'll have some background information about grouping students, so this can help you in your brainstorming for your lesson plan. Any questions you have about anything, of course, you can send me an email and I'll respond within 24 hours of business days. And I look forward to seeing you at our Collaborate session. It'll be nice to see you face to face, sort of, and discuss your ideas for your lesson plan. So I hope you have an excellent week too, and I'll see you soon in Collaborate.